aligned on our focus for this month, and I don't have any distractions. I'll go ahead and I'll pass it to Ashley.
Okay. All right, perfect. I just got the mute button organized. My top comms priority this week is emails. I am going to jump into autopilot and with Carlos and figure out triggers and kind of clean up some of the things in there. We need to figure out some Give Power emails going out. So there's this is my big item this week for comms. Intentions for the call, to stream, to sync up, see what we're prioritizing for the new year. And distractions are just streaming and so many things going on around me all at the same time. And I will pass it, Nicola, to Nicola.
Thanks. My focus for this week, comms-wise, is support this recreation of autopilot emails for Ashley and finish up the verified tweet thread. That would be two things. And I'm here to sync up, just to realign for the New Year's and see what's on the agenda for today. No distractions. And I'm going to pass it on to Mitch.
Hey there. For this call, I just want to listen in and see what you guys are up to. Nothing to add on the comms agenda yet. I don't have anything concrete for you, so here to listen, and I'll pass it on to Katabe.
GM, everyone. Happy to be here. Top priority for this week. I'm not sure, but I am here to see if I can help somewhere. Intention for the call. I put a few things on the agenda. There are a few groups that want to onboard us, and I just want to know what's the feeling here, like if it's something that we should pursue. And distractions, I am doing a little bit of work on the background. I'll pass it to Suga.
Thanks, Kotabe. Hi, everybody. Happy to see you all. Happy New Year. So I have having just seeing my children again after a long period. So there's a lot of distractions going on right now with some unopened presents and whatnot. So just wrapping things up on some articles last week. So I'm trying to make some headway on some bigger projects that I've been on. So that's about it for now. And I'll pass it to Lauren.
Suga, my priority for the call, well, I want to talk about the upcoming Gitcoin grants round, which I just found out starts January 17th. And my priority also for the week is to try to get and support getting out the evolving nonprofits into regen economies blog post that Tropical Mango's been working on. Other than that, I don't think I have any other priorities here for the ride, and I'm just a little distracted by changing location right now, and I will pass it to Tropical Mango.
Hey guys, Happy New Year. My intention for the call is just to share a couple updates on the issues. Actually, Ashley, you already said you're looking into the Give Power notification email, so that was one of my heads up. And just to sync up. So I will pass to, let me see.
What's your priority for the week?
That would be it. Cleaning up the GitHub issues and finishing up stuff on GitHub. And I will pass to Miguel.
GM, my intentions are just look what you are doing here and maybe see if I can help in something. distractions. My internet is not working so good right now, and my kitty is a little bit energy right now. So yeah, and I'm gonna pass it to Ahmad.
Thanks, Miguel. Hey, everyone. Happy New Year. Hope you're all doing well. My focus for the week, there's a few things. The first is search engine optimization. I think that's something that we need to start doing again. So SEO. So I want to try and plan out a strategy for this coming year where we do something at least once a week to basically help us improve on how we rank on Google. So that's like the first thing. I also would like to help out with the email notifications. I know autopilot is a bit of a mess, and with like the givebacks emails and all these things that we have going on with Segment, I feel like it needs a lot of people to dive in and figure out like what the heck is going on and to try to fix it as much as we can. So I'll spend some time on that this week. And I think there's a few more things, but I put them as notes here. But those are like the two main things that I'll be focusing on this week. And let's see, did anyone not go yet? Who didn't?
I did.
Yeah, okay, cool. Let me pass it on to Jake.
Thanks a lot. Best wishes, happy New Year's, everybody. Top comms priority. I'm mostly gig economy this week. But Corey, if you need anything with the DeFi follow up and messaging, all that, that would probably be the top comms priority, as that's still rocking and rolling. Intention for the call, just always stay in the loop with the comms team. Distractions, none. And I do believe that I am the last one.
Ahmad, you mentioned the focuses for the week, but for this call, is it the same things? Saw you added some things into the agenda.
Yeah, I think that's it. There's, let's see,
I think I saw you add.
And program as well. Yeah, that's a big one. But yeah, I mean, I could talk about that a bit later.
We talked about it in the governance call actually, but we didn't see you there.
Okay. Oh no, they said that they're going to discuss it tomorrow in the Give Economy and Development call, I think. That's
Sure.
what
Sure, we'll do it again.
me. Sorry if I missed it.
No, it's all good. It's a bit off the cuff, but anyway.
Okay, cool. Did we get everybody?
No,
So.
I still need to go. Hi, everyone. My intention for this call is to sync with everyone and to be aligned with the comms working group. My focus for this week is the GitHub issues that I still need to do and the launch of the GM podcast. Prepare everything for that. No distractions. And that's it. I pass it back to you, Corey.
Okay, cool. Nice. Well, welcome everyone. We have a nice group today. Thanks for being here. And we have kind of an extensive agenda. Some things have been added here. So I think I'll go ahead and kick it off with the most relevant topic, which is to talk about as a group, like our priorities for January as we're starting a new year. And it really helps. I added this note in bold because I was going through the board a bit yesterday. And of course, like a lot of people have been out on vacation. So a lot of issues could use updating since there may not have been updates for like a couple of weeks. So it would really help just as a reminder, like please go through your stuff as soon as you can this week so that we can better prioritize things and also see where everything is at. It also prevents me from having to go into all the issues and write what's going on here. So just friendly reminder. And otherwise, kind of been adding on to this list here to see what we should really be focusing on over the next, let's say, like 4 weeks for now. one of the first items that we should definitely discuss is the upcoming Gitcoin grants round, like the alpha round. Thanks, Lauren, for the tweet that you shared from, I think, from yesterday, right? That where there's finally some communications about like the dates here. So it looks like it's going to be January 17th to the 31st for the round, right? And we should think about what we want to do from the communication side to ensure that we're like getting ourselves out there as much as possible.
Yeah, and we also need to update our grant listings. I think we should check into. I think probably we shouldn't update the Giveth Trace one, but we need to update the one for Giveth.io. So maybe we can create an issue for that. And I don't know who wants to take that on, but basically, like Suga's written in the last many rounds. Basically, it's just like compile recent things that happen and talk about like what we're building next and why they should donate.
Yeah, I can still do that if that's a good idea. Sure.
Perfect.
I mean,
perfect. You're the ideal person for it, I think, Suga. And
I didn't know if you were saying that like, and we want somebody new.
No. I want you. I just didn't want to be too presumptuous.
Oh no. Okay. No sweat. Thank you.
Great. So maybe Corey, you can make a quick issue and a signer, and then and then we should like work on maybe like a couple, like we can make one issue for some unique tweets, and then it's always nice to do a little bit of like outreach as well, and just like ask people to donate.
Hey, Lauren, I have a quick question about it, because I saw that for the Gitcoin grants, it was going to be only focused, I think, on initiatives on climate change, and it was going to cut for like super few people or projects. Do we know if we are like, I think it's kind of like whitelisted. Do you know if we are whitelisted, or if that's the case? Am I just getting something wrong?
No, I'm not 100% sure, honestly. But I did see there's just a message from Pranav Khanna that Griff had posted in one of like the Giveth Galaxy chats I'm part of, and he just said, we're kicking off Gitcoin Alpha Round prep. Stay tuned for updates. So I don't know if it's going to be totally limit. I know they were doing like the UNICEF round and stuff. But yeah, so we can like create those issues and then like wait until they post an announcement to actually get started on them. But I was imagining that they would be doing kind of like that alpha round of like the regular grants protocol. But yeah, anyway, I'm not 100% sure to answer your question, but I do think that like it's worthwhile at least creating the issues so that we're ready when it comes.
Cool. I absolutely agree with creating issues to be ready, just like if in case. But as I understand it, the alpha round of Gitcoin is going to be focused on climate change, and it's going to be limited to very few projects that are sort of like whitelisted. But that's as far as I know.
Does that mean it's a possibility we're not in the round, just to clarify? Or yes. Are you just talking about how we should position the messaging?
I believe there is a possibility that we are not in the round.
Okay. When, like, would we... okay, this is like, it's crazy to me because it's like in 2 weeks. Like, we should know by now, right? Is that something like Gitcoin, like, do they... Like, we just literally sit and wait for them to let us know, or...
There are a couple of Telegram groups that Gitcoin spin off. I can do some digging and update later in the day.
That would be great. I would think, like, we know we're quite friendly with Gitcoin, right? Like, can't we just ask? Because it's 2 weeks time to prep communications. It's 2 weeks time to, like... This is normally, I would think, the window to already be actively promoting it. So yeah, that would be awesome if you have access to groups to just like straight up ask the question, I think, or if we have a point of contact to clarify that with, that would be good to know.
Evan Awaki just started following me.
There you go.
I can ask Jim. I will try anyway.
He probably liked your blog post, right?
That's what it was. Actually, I asked him I had to ask him a question. In fact, sorry, small tangent. I asked him if he preferred to be referred to as Kevin or Awaki, and his answer was either one is fine. So.
Okay. Well, I'll create the issues anyway after this call. A couple tweets would make sense. I also think we should be considering being in Twitter spaces, right? Normally there's a lot of Twitter like space activity around the Gitcoin grants rounds. So where we can jump in and present ourselves. But yeah, I guess this is all pending on on the information of whether we're in the round. So cool. Is there anything else then that we want to discuss like for today, or do we want to leave it for now and I'll we can circle back on this once we know for sure. Okay. Also, Suga, one thing I would add is updating our grants listing will probably tie in together with like one topic here for the like a blog post around like what we're looking forward to in 2023. There'll probably be a lot of crossover there and like things that can be used in both.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, great. Then, okay. Someone added this World Food Program communications. Who wants to speak to this topic?
Yeah, that was me. I mean, still no official announcement, but probably the official announcement is going to be hopefully at Davos between the 16th and 20th of January. So it's better just to be ready for it. We had a couple of calls with the World Food Program and the Global Blockchain Council. I'm forgetting 1C. Anyways, the important thing here is that they are very interested in working with us. They're very interested in working with us, and they have a project that is going to be from 2023 to 2024 with three main geographic areas: Venezuelan migrants in Peru, Ukraine, and Kenya. They want to collect $1 billion for those initiatives, and we have talked about how can we help them, and basically it's through sort of like in-kind donations, and in-kind donations means we are going to be developing, like we're going to be offering Giveth tools to them and maybe further develop some things. And probably some of that is going to be like, or a lot of that is going to be like costless, but it's going to be so amazing to have, I don't know, $500 million passing through the platform. So that's kind of like the update for those who have not heard about this World Food Program. And the important thing is that they want to make an announcement of this campaign or this project on Davos, and they want to have our logo. So I'm coordinating with them. But if they announce at Davos, I think it will be really good that if we have some comms on our side highlighting that. So that's where we are. It's nothing on paper yet, and they are on vacations. That's the blocker. I send them a follow-up email, and most of they have like automatic responses that they're coming like around the 9th, so next week. But I also just wanted us to be prepared for when it comes. I don't think that it's going to be a lot of work, but yeah, that's the update.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, then it's really comes down to like providing specifics around what communications would be most effective for this. Is it Twitter communications? Is it more like assets to provide them with for the event? Obviously, there seems to be some co-branding stuff. So it's really important, I think, that's just fleshed out, and then we can execute it on the comm side.
Yeah, I will dig on the collective intelligence of the more com-related people here on what's the best way. Where we are is just they're going to make a very ambiguous announcement, like, yeah, we intend to work on this, and this is the project, and these are our partners, and that's it. We have not figured out the details, and I think first 2 or 3 months of their project is just figuring out the details on how we're going to work together. So I don't think that's nothing too specific, like definitely not blog post or anything like that. I will just say, like, my gut feeling is like just some tweet about it. If they make an announcement with our logo at Davos, I think that will be really cool. But other than that, I will just let it to you, Corey, or Lauren to be more to decide what's best for Giveth official comms.
Okay. Well, I would say then, like, to proceed with this, the best would probably be to create an issue first in the planning board with as much detail as possible. And tag the relevant people in comms, and then we can further brainstorm there and discuss. And then it sounds like you'll hopefully have some updates already early next week.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. If we have multiple things, we can turn it into an epic, and organize under that. Awesome. Okay, anything to add to that? Otherwise, I'll move to Give Power. All right, sweet. Well, before the holidays started, the last 2 weeks, we had just launched Give Power on the 13th of December, and which was, I think, like a really cool way to cap off 2022. And so, but we still got some things left to continue now into 2023, to continue now pushing this amazing launch. And so that will definitely be a focus as well for January. Okay, I see email notifications are written here. Just going really quick into the epic. We have a couple of outstanding items, including the email notifications. I guess this is the same thing that's referenced in the agenda. But the epic is really good to look at because you can see everything that we already completed, but we can also look into now like what's left to be done, and just want to bring this to people's attention and see if there's anything that we're missing here. I know there's going to be some updates coming around the workshops, and, of course, promotions around the workshops. So Almond, I know you'll be updating the issues around that. But is there anything else? The email notifications was listed on the agenda. So is there something that you want to speak to, Ahmad?
Not really, no. It's just something that is a high priority.
Okay. All right. I think like one thing that would be very... Sorry,
this is also the email. This is also referring kind of to the autopilot thing that I was talking about earlier and trying to figure out the Give Power emails. Is a lot of it has to do with figuring out how we create the contact list for the triggers, essentially. So like if you're boosting a project, we need to be able to detect when you stop boosting a project and these types of things to trigger email. So there's like a lot of technicality actually that goes into this, and maybe actually some of these emails aren't even possible to trigger in the way that we want to. So I'm going to do a big overhaul with Carlos. I just wanted to give a little update. I know that I haven't been super communicative in this issue, but it's just like every step I try to take, I get moved back 3, I feel like. So this is what's prompting this huge overhaul and to find alignment in autopilot. So that's my update.
Okay. I think also, one thing I wanted to bring up is I think like we had this really great launch video that we produced, and some like pieces of content, but I think there's also a lot more that we could do. Okay. This was moved to Icebox, the Give Power graphics. What why was that moved?
I think, yeah, it was just like really kind of like challenging to kind of sort out all the details on this, and just before launch, I kind of put it in the icebox. We can take it out of the icebox and put it in the backlog and revisit it. The purpose was kind of to explain how to give power and what to do with your give tokens, but I think the scope on the graphic got a little bit too broad, and then it became like more confusing than it was valuable. But I think we can revisit it. So if you want to just move it out of the backlog, then take another shot.
I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I kind of feel like we could do more with imagery and graphics to explain give power. I mean, we have the video, which is cool, but that's like one format. And if we were going to put out more content or, around give power, we can always write tweets, right? And we're always probably going to do that to reference it. But if, I don't know, maybe for our documentation, that's a
great idea.
There's
Yes.
there is something Rodri made. It has give power in it, and maybe we can use that same style.
Yeah,
You guys remember this, no?
Yes, but it needs a little bit of tweaking, I'd say. But for sure, I think that's a super fabulous idea. To be honest, there's folks that I'm talking to that it's hard to understand, and I think that's a great idea. Visuals are always enjoyed.
Well, and I know this is something that I've mentioned before, but it's also it's just bringing it back around, is that the blockchain there's a whole team of people that want to help us create infographics for complex topics through the Blockchain Learning Center. And the guy is really responsive. They wanted to help us for a while, and they just weren't getting, I think, the engagement that they were hoping for. We were really busy with some things at the time, but if we come up with some simple, complex topics that we would like to explain through infographics, they would be more than happy to take on some of these topics, because it's part of their mission of what they do. And it can easily be stylized to the Giveth branding afterwards or something like this. If they do the skeleton work, then Rodri could easily just brand it Giveth. Or this is just an idea, something that I wanted to bring up so that we know it's available if we need resources.
Yeah. So I tried working with them, and it was honestly a lot of work. And then the end result was something that we could have easily just done ourselves. I can show you some of the stuff they sent, and it was it was more work to coordinate with them than just to coordinate with Rodri. That was the end result.
Yeah, and I think really, I mean, especially with this one issue, what it requires, because it was I was working together with Tropical Mango, and I think she's in this call, but it was a lot of back and forth, because I think what it requires, in order for somebody to create this infographic, they need to have a really strong understanding of the flow so that they can work directly with Rodri. If anybody is yeah, I completely understand all the parts of Give Power and how it works, then that would be kind of the person who should take ownership of this, and then creating kind of a skeleton, and then Rodri can just recreate it. That's kind of why it ended up in the icebox. So what I would suggest for this issue is to see if anybody is anybody in this call feel confident that they're yeah, I've mastered Give Power and I can take this to the finish line. Yeah, because this is really the challenge is explaining the complex topics in simple ways requires somebody who understands the complex topic. So
I think I could potentially tackle that. But yeah, it's just an infographic, right, of how Give Power works. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and you can take a look at what Tropical Mango had started. She was kind of starting out with donating, getting Give tokens, then staking and locking your Give tokens, getting Give Power, and then boosting projects. So it's kind of that flow.
Yeah. That's basically it. I think that's and then just working with Rodri to get that done on an image.
Yep. If you want to take it on, I think that'd be great.
Okay, I'll just add myself here, and yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. Because I think that could be, I mean, this also might be relevant for our homepage or for the Give Economy page, and then also for our Twitter communications. I think that's actually really powerful to combine it, with our Twitter efforts. So yeah, cool. So there's like the graphics, and then there's also a video walkthrough, which I'm happy to see. Oh, well, we have the video. This is different. This is like more for our documentation, right? Video content, like onboarding. This is more for our.
I think it's more like a walkthrough,
donors.
where like someone like shares their screen and goes through it.
For the Donors 101 course type of thing?
Yeah, in a similar style, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, great. Yeah, I see that's in progress. So yeah, if there's anything else, please mention it. In this epic is open. Since we have a lot of things on the agenda, I don't want to spend too much time on this specifically, but that would definitely be a focus for us, I think, to get the rest of this done around Give Power, so we can continue to promote it in the best way possible, in more engaging ways, while we're coordinating these workshops as well. So I like the idea of video. It's really about imagery now. And then, of course, the emails. Okay, cool. Well, great. I will move on then to the next topic, which is our homepage. I'm not sure if everyone is aware. It's been kind of circulating for a little while now, but there's discussion on the forum about redesigning the homepage of Giveth, which is quite relevant to the comms working group, of course, because that's a big communications piece. As we direct all potential new users to the Giveth homepage, and we're including that quite a bit in all of our communications efforts. So I just wanted to put this on the agenda as like this would definitely be a focus to get that, I think, rolling as quickly as possible, but with the right input this month. Is there anything that we want to talk about around this? I've been in that forum post a lot. Just wanted to open that up briefly.
I think one thing is we may need to write more things for it. So there may be new pages that we may need to write or things like that. So yeah, I think there's a lot that we might have to do. Like, for example, on the top of the homepage, there are these like 3 different sections. Each one goes to a new page that doesn't exist yet. So yeah, like that's one example.
Or like landing, you mean like landing pages?
Yeah, like a landing page, or yeah, like a page that we may need to write what goes on that page, basically.
Yeah. I like like Mitch, you had written in that forum post, like it would be, I don't know if it does, I don't know like what's going to be implemented in the end, but like even like a dynamic banner. And I could see very much like having on the homepage, like directing, to various landing pages, like you're saying, Ahmad. And then it's a question of like what should be on those landing pages. And I'm not sure how things were done previously for the website, if the comms working group is the group that is doing the copywriting for the website. But if that's the case, then each landing page is basically its own project or its own task, let's say.
Like it seems like a lot of work to have a landing page for each individual individual thing we want to push. Maybe I'm like overthinking it, but it's like you need to design a whole page. Whereas when we have the banners, like Rodri just makes whatever like this and we push it in. And then it's really, really easy to add content that way.
Yeah, I was thinking more like if we may have a landing page for, let's say, like a specific communications campaign, but I don't think that every banner on the homepage would link to its own newly designed landing page. I think a lot of it would probably just link to other parts of our website. But we had already talked last month about having a landing page for communications campaigns, like if we want to push a specific theme around something relevant for that month, where we could even like highlight specific projects. So I could see like maybe one new landing page that's easy to change from time to time. I don't know what everyone else thinks about that. It's something Monique said would be pretty simple to do.
Yeah, I'm not sure if someone brought this up before, but I know that there are these things that you could add on top of websites. I mean, like when you first join a website, where they like basically walk you through it in a way. So it's like a piece of like JavaScript that you install on the website, then it can like show you where to go basically if like it's your first time on the website.
Yeah, we have that right now.
To look into something. Oh yeah, we have.
Well, it's just like if they've never been there before, it like shows that we used to have it. I think we got rid of it, but it was like, you know, how to use Giveth, and it would show up basically if they had no Giveth cookies, right? So if they have no Giveth cookies, then the first time user, and then we can show them something special. But it would be different because Corey's saying we want to show them a different landing page based on if there's an active campaign.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is sort of a different thing that has to do mainly with like the projects, I think. So I think like that particular landing page thing of like if we're doing like a campaign, I think that has to do mainly with like which of the projects are we highlighting more, I think, right? Right, Corey?
Yeah, I think this topic was born when we were discussing doing a campaign around Iran, like supporting projects fundraising for Iran. And, you know, we didn't move forward with that, but out of that was born this idea, like, what if we had a landing page where we could update from time to time as we're then like launching a like campaign around it. These campaigns could be like several months, you know, and then we have this landing page up that we're directing everyone to in our tweets instead of directing them to the Giveth homepage. Stuff like that.
I mean, I guess like for me, I mean, what I'm thinking about the homepage is one of its main jobs is to get people to start using our platform. So in a way, we need to think about it sort of like a funnel where like, how do we get them on to the next step? You know, so that's why I was thinking if there's like a better onboarding flow or maybe like a page that explains it easier if it's their first time or, you know, something like that, I think would help. I mean, because most people don't go on the homepage unless it's their first time. Like if you've been using our site for a while, like you probably just go on the project page, right? Like you wouldn't go on the homepage. Or like, yeah, like one of the other pages like the Give Farm or something. So I think that the homepage is mainly for new users.
Yeah, I kind of made that point yesterday in the forum post. So yeah, it's a great forum post, I think, to like put all this in now, so that, you know, all the information, like all the input is there, because otherwise I think it could also like extend out quite a bit when people come in with like, you know, different opinions and stuff. But I think like most of that has been talked about now, which is good. And I think from the comm side, like we just need to be in sync so that we know, you know, what to be preparing And again, if comms is usually the one doing the copywriting for different pages, then it's just something we should be aware of for this month. And we can agree on if we want to do a landing page, like we should agree on that and what should it be used for. So that I think is something like definitely to prioritize. I can create an issue around this so we can also like discuss that, but it should also, I would like to first see the forum posts like progress before, otherwise we're going to be like spinning our own wheels. And yeah. And if there's anything that we like, that you strongly feel like we should really be incorporating into the homepage for the communications working group, like definitely make sure to add it into the forum post, you know, today, tomorrow, like this week. Okay, cool. Anything else that someone wants to add? Oh, wow. I just saw this graphic in the chat. Okay, I'm going to look at that later. There's a lot in there, but that's cool. All right. Well, yeah, next topic is this 2023 looking forward blog post. I believe I already created an issue around this, but just wanted to highlight it. That we put out this highlights of 2022 blog post last week to recap everything Giveth has been up to over the last 12 months. And, you know, there wasn't really anything included around like our outlook for 2023 on purpose, because the idea was to just, you know, split up the effort on that. So that would also be like a more immediate priority now for comms, is that we create a post. This doesn't necessarily need to be a super long blog post, but I think it should, you know, my thoughts around this were like, it would make sense to highlight some of the things we're for sure planning to be building this year. So I'd love to open that up just for a quick minute on, you know, some thoughts around like what should definitely be included in that blog post, and see, you know, who might be interested to take that on. And also like timing wise, what would make the most sense? Because I think the sooner the better, since this is quite relevant content for this month.
Well, two things I think that we should definitely include in this blog are Giveth that we're working on. That's kind of like exciting, and whoever's writing the post should like talk to Mitch more about it to get like the details and where we're at and what's coming. And also quadratic funding, which is kind of, we're gonna like have it be related to Giveth, but those are kind of like two major things that we want to get out. I think it would also be valuable in this blog post to maybe feature some, like a little bit touching on like what the rest of the Giveth Galaxy is up to, and in particular the Common Stack. Before we post this blog post, I do really want to make sure that we get out Tropical Mango's blog post on the Giveth roadmap, basically, because we're like talking about GERVs and blah, blah, blah. And like, we're not going to get to GERVs this year for sure. But if the Common Stack is able to successfully help a few other DAOs launch commonses, like Web3 kind of DAOs to launch their commonses, then commons, we can then probably start doing GERVs in the following year. So I think it's like kind of touching very briefly in this blog on like, and the Common Stack plans on doing this, and this is relevant to our vision because it will lead to GERVs like in the following year. Yeah, and then other than that, like we could definitely mention the PFP collection, and there is a issue right now about like the kind of January update that we're creating for the Giveth project that like has a few more ideas in there, but I would say kind of like those three things majorly, or those things majorly.
The PFP collection is like for sure something we're doing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Santi's working on it right now. Mitch, do you know?
Yeah, we're doing it for sure.
Okay.
That's coming soon. I mean, we also have all the little things like coming up, well, little things, like we've got the referral program coming, and what else is going on? The rank updates thing. Like whoever writes the post could be kind of like as thorough with this or as bigger picture as they want to. Corey and I were talking about it yesterday and saying like this could even just be like a blog post of like 4 paragraphs where we're like, this is kind of like coming super soon, and then like bigger picture stuff. Yeah. Does anyone have like bandwidth or capacity and want to take on writing something like this with kind of like
do.
Yay! That would be perfect.
What did you say about Common Stack again?
Yeah, so I talked to Griff about this, and like Gervs is kind of like the holy grail end of our roadmap vision thing, and we're definitely not going to get to Gervs this year because like the precursor to Gervs is successfully launching DAOs, like launching commons for Web3 DAOs. So like Common Stack is going to be working with ReFi DAO to launch a commons, and then they're hoping to do like 2 or 3 more this year. And if they're able to do that,
I know all about that. I actually was with Tam this weekend.
Oh, cool.
So yes, got it.
Yeah, so I think in like this blog, like it would be nice to do a little shout out to Common Stack and be like, Common Stack plans on doing this, and this is like a necessary stepping stone for us being able to get to launching these commons for nonprofits in like 2024 or 2025.
Right. Okay. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so I put you on the issue, and there's already a couple of notes here. Also, it ties in quite well, like I said, with the Gitcoin grant writing. So it does make sense that you're on both because it'll be relevant.
Cool.
And also maybe we want to tie in then a CTA on this post, in a smooth way, but as like promoting our promoting the upcoming round. I would definitely put that in this post.
Okay.
So yeah, timing wise would be great to get the Regen Economies blog post like finalized. Then it can be referred to in this post. And the ideal would be to have this post out before the Gitcoin grants round starts, which is in the 17th. So that should be a doable timeline. I think that's 2 weeks. And again, this isn't, this could just be several paragraphs, but with the right links and the right points that we're touching on.
Sounds good.
Okay, sweet. And all right, so actually we can skip this part of the agenda because I think that blog post we've talked about there. It's in review process in the board. So that's a priority, of course, to get that out ASAP. I'd say like this week would be great to have that finalized. The Giveth Learnings blog post is also something I think that we could prioritize, added to the agenda. And this was from our brainstorm over the last 2 months around like the type of content we could be putting out during the bear market from Giveth. And this was an idea that we had agreed on to just talk about, I should fill out this description a bit more. I was just doing it quickly yesterday, but basically the lessons that we've learned. So I think this would be a really interesting piece of content if we have the capacity to prioritize one thing this month, other than our outlook for 2023 and this blog post that we're about to get out that's nearly done, the Regen Economies one. This could be one more to take a look at. So positioning ourselves as, kind of sharing, about our vision, that we're not dependent on the price of the coin, right? That we're here for good, that we're still building during the bear market. We could talk a bit about the values of Web3 for public goods. So I don't know if we need to go super in depth on this during this call since we have a lot on the agenda, but it's something, I can actually put this on for next week. We could talk about it again if that's something that'd be interesting. And I'll fill that out a little bit more too to clarify. Then I think also the Giveth project update, we've talked about that, but this is necessary for this month. I think January 20th was maybe the date. And I believe, Nicola, that you're assigned to this, right? So I just added it in as a list on the list of things we're going to be tackling this month. I don't know if we need to talk about it here, but if you have anything to add, just wanted to give you the space for a second.
Do you guys hear me? Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Yeah. I just saw your comment, Lauren, from today, and so we're going to put it together. It seems like we have enough input, but if you guys have anything else to add in, put it in. Otherwise, we can start collecting already for next 3 months because it's going to go fast soon. And I'm happy to keep an eye on the quarterly updates and just always poke someone who's going to be, but yeah, working on it. I don't know
and I think it ties
to add anything.
I was just going to say, I think it ties in really well with also Suga's efforts around, preparing the grants write-up and also looking at this, like the looking forward blog post. This is, I guess, retroactive on what we've done so far, now that I think about it. But I'm sure there's information you want to put in there about like what we're going to be doing next. So,
yeah. Yes, it would be nice to find some nice balance because there's a lot to post. We have only 2,000 characters for one post, so maybe just find some nice balance in that and as we review it, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, then I know, all right, let's see. We've got 5 minutes left, so realistically, I don't know that we can get through all of this. If that's okay, we've got a bit too much on here. The chain vine issue, I know that we've talked about this in the governance call and it's being discussed in other calls. Is this something that we need to discuss here today?
Not today, but it will probably launch in January. So everyone here should be aware of how the program works and read this forum post to learn more. We need to, figure out once it's launched or like once it's about to be launched, we need to come up with a comms plan for it.
Okay. Yeah, I think like let's talk about that next week when we have more time. But just FYI, please check into this forum post. And then, let's see, start doing more SEO. I know you wanted to touch on this briefly, Ahmad, which I think is also a good point.
Yeah, also, honestly, not much to say now, but it's just something that, we did a bit of this at the beginning of the year and all of us got a bit busy, but I think it's something that we should start doing more of is, every meeting, try to go over what are ways that we can improve how our site ranks on Google, basically. So just make it more of something at the forefront of how we plan out things.
Okay. And then a few other items here for the month. So there's SEO, and we'll be talking about the referral program. Also, cross-platform content management. Claire and I and Sim were reviewing different content platforms so that we can like easier sync up across like Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook, and eventually also Instagram would be great. So that's going to be also continuous focus for January. So we can like move forward on that actually with a new platform ideally. And I think also a question to keep in mind is like what's comms doing that syncs well with fundraising efforts, right? Because that is a big focus for Giveth. And always staying in sync, I think, more with the outreach team, the partnerships team, so we can help help with those initiatives to get more donors to the platform, as well as promoting, product launches and stuff like this. But I think that's always something that we should be keeping in mind. One thing I'd like to highlight, since we just have 2 minutes, is the fiat integration that is coming up. I know in our last comms call, we were talking about the need for testing. So is this something, I just wanted to have it on the agenda to talk about, is there any updates around this, something we should be aware of for this week, or is this something that we should revisit next week in the comms call?
Mateo said, I think yesterday, that he's got about 5 people testing it with him for the fiat integration. The downfall is that you have to use real money to test it. That's what I remember.
Okay. So 5 sounds like quite a small number, right?
Yeah. If you're interested, talk to Mateo.
Yeah, and it will be great to have people from different parts of the world. So I tested it from Mexico, but since the on-ramper is an aggregator of different payment services and it varies depending on the country, it's very helpful if we have people from different parts of the world. And yeah, you have to use your own money, but it's basically buying crypto, because you can create a project for yourself for testing, and then you put your wallet and you buy crypto with a fee, but yeah, I mean, it's not lost money completely for the testing.
Okay. Yeah, talk to Mateo if you want to test it. I think this is a super, super important initiative. Needs a lot more than 5, and so yeah, we can revisit this topic next week as well. See if we can support with comms in that way. So we are at the top of the hour, and there's a few more things here. Is this something that can wait until next week? I'm not sure who added these.
I have a couple ones at the bottom, but they're self-explanatory. It was just more a heads up. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I added the other ones, and they can wait for next week.
Okay. All right. I'll put them on next week's agenda. Then one last thing real quick is I'm going to see if I can make this happen for next week, otherwise a week after. But I thought it'd be really helpful if we did a GitHub walkthrough, taking part of our meeting, maybe for 20 minutes or so, to do a walkthrough of the best practices for using GitHub. Because I know that seen kind of all different ways that it's being used, and I think it would be great that we align on it. So I'll leave that in the FYI section for now, but we can talk about that a bit more next week as well.
I just added a quick reference. If anybody could give some love to that Green Pill article, please. I put the link in, because that's a little bit, timely.
Okay. I will throw it in.
Clap for it 50 times. Click and hold the clap button and clap 50 times. And then if you could give it a retweet too, Giveth tweeted it this morning at 9 o'clock.
Teeny mistake in the tweet. Does that matter?
What?
There's a little mistake, I guess, where it says over 30 mechanisms, and actually it's nearly, anyway. Splitting hairs.
That's my fault. Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Wow. This is quite a piece. Yes. Amazing. This is also something people were literally asking for on Twitter. Asking if it's outlined somewhere. So we're responding to that direct request.
Maybe, Sue, if you could also even post the link on that Twitter thread. I think it was in the issue.
Oh, yeah. I'll go back to that. Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to respect everyone's time. So thank you so much. I'm actually floored that we got through most of this. So, appreciate you coming today, and hope you have a great rest of your day, and see you next week.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Corey.
Thanks, Corey. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.